Hello, folks. We're live. How's everybody doing? Forgive me. My throat gets clogged just as I'm going online. Boy, I hope everybody's getting through winter. We all got dumped on pretty good up here in Ohio. And I know there's people that got worse than me. We got like 12 inches or so. The snow has stopped for the time being for the last several days. That's the good news. The bad news is it's been extremely cold. In fact, here's a picture. Let me just share it with you real quick. This is just before sunset today. So quite a bit of snow in the backyard. Still no ability to barbecue with the grill. So I tell you, it's all good though. Okay, so I hope everybody's having a great time. Appreciate everybody who tunes in, and I really appreciate you tuning in last week when I had Bryce here. Okay, Joe, I see you. Okay. I had Bryce here from Model Makers Workshop, and I do apologize because I had no internet that day, so we were relying on cellular strength from my phone, and it did carry the show through, but on playback, I can see that it was not so good a quality with the numerous freeze-ups and whatnot, so I appreciate everybody sticking with me on that. If you're new to my channel and new to the live stream, my name is Ken with Model Building and Retirement. And not only do I do this live stream every Friday night at 7 o'clock, but I also have regular recorded videos of reviews of product and kit builds and tutorials, how-to, and mostly concentrating on paint tutorials. So, if you haven't had a chance, go ahead and check that out. And I got to thank everybody too. Today we just hit 6,000 subscribers. Very happy to see that. It's so nice that everybody's joining and subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe today too. Appreciate it. Very good. I never saw that coming. With that being said, though, the comments I get on my videos and that are generally pretty positive. I think every creator gets a couple guys that are just out there, to cause trouble or whatever. But I had one comment the other day, and it was on my video for the Ford, I think it was. And he just wrote, well, it didn't take you long to sell out. And I really don't know what he means by that. I don't know if it's because I get compensated with ad revenue from YouTube or it's because I have a couple sponsors, but I kind of got a kick out of that. And I apologize. I said, a good thing you weren't paying for it. So it's a free video. But everybody's going to have their opinion. But no, I'm not a sellout. I mean, I'm not going to be sponsored by somebody whose products I don't like. Just isn't going to work that way with me. But the people that are sponsoring me, I do use their products, and I think I've proven that they work quite well. So that's the way it's going to be. Okay, so let's talk about some guests coming up. So next week is going to be Mikey of Chester's Models and his dad Pops, and he's a young guy. He's the youngest builder I know, probably in his 20s. That'll be February 6th. We met up in Detroit show, and him and his dad are really cool, and they both do pretty good builds. So I thought it would be a cool show to invite them on. And then I got my next guest lined up for the 13th of February, and that is going to be Matt Hickey of Matt's Model Works. Matt started his channel about a week before I started mine. So if you think my channel kind of took off and grew, he is leaving me behind in the smoke and dust because he's just soaring. I think he's going to hit like 10,000 subscribers probably before the week's out. So, but I'm excited to have Matt with us here coming up too. And we'll get to a lot of other people. There's a lot of people I want to reach out to. So if you feel like, boy, I wonder why Ken hasn't reached out to me, I will be, I promise, because I want this show to have the best guests that I could possibly get, and I watch most of your channels myself, so I think that's going to be good. So tonight we're going to have a topic, and it's going to be patina and weathering, and my guest Joe from Joe's New Rush Shop right here in Youngstown, Ohio. So he can't be a bad guy right here in Youngstown. He's going to be my guest, and he builds everything from shiny to weathered cars, but my favorite is his weathered and patina work. I think it's incredible. So I'm looking forward to having him on as a guest. What else we got? upcoming videos. And forgive me, a little bit of sniffling here. I think I'm coming down with a cold. Upcoming videos. I'm going to do the Starliner Ford series. It'll be the finale, part 4, and I'll probably get that up by tomorrow. It's completed. It looks pretty good. In fact, I'll show it here on my bench update here just shortly. And then the next video out that, I'm going to be working on 2 builds simultaneously because I've kind of slowed down on my builds a little bit with my work. You know, even though it says model building in retirement, I did have to go back to work for a little while to help out. They just couldn't find somebody and they needed to help. The good news is we just secured a replacement for my old position, which means that that was a big hurdle. So I'm still going to continue on for a while because I want to train that new guy and get him adjusted into the position. And then it looks like I'll probably be staying on long term, but at a much lesser duty, maybe just popping in once a month or so just to see how things are going. So I'm looking forward to getting back to retirement and playing. You know, this is fun. This is what I want to be doing and building and doing the channel and whatnot. So anyways, that's coming up. I want to do a special shout out to 2 people. Kevin Smith is a moderator tonight. Just make sure he's going to keep everybody in line. But if you know Kevin, who's going to keep him in line? So we also recruited his daughter, Krista. Thank you, Krista, because somebody's got to watch Kevin too. So, so I have 2 moderators here. So I think we're in good hands tonight. All right, let's go to the bench update here. Let me just switch cameras real quick. And then we'll be getting Joe on here very shortly, I promise. So let me switch my camera. There it is. Okay, so first thing is the Ford is done. Finally. I'm not exactly happy with it. I'm happy with it, but it's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping that it was going to be the best build yet, and you know, every time you do a build, something happens. So this one is less than perfect, but you know what? Let me show you a little slideshow here instead of moving the model around. I took some pictures earlier, so let me get that on here for you. So I put it in my little garage diorama here and took some pictures. I do like the stance. I think it's a pretty stance on that car. Sits really nice with those big wheels under it. Oh, wrong one. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, another shot of it there. And like I said, I'm a fan of chrome, but I do like the fact that occasionally I switch it up a little bit. So I think these big, fat, tall rims, black, just kind of look good on the car. I think it kind of gives it a sinister look. Yeah, Kenny, I know you don't like my wheels. And like I said, it's not what I do either typically. So I had them in my stock, so I'm going to use them up. Another shot of her from the front end here. Do like the 2-tone paint job, or 3 if you consider the stripe on the side there. And the kit did come with the side pipes there. I decided to put that on. It would make the exhaust easier. In fact, that is one thing I still have to do is tie the exhaust into the headers. Engine compartment, you know, that's that 3D printed small block Ford from Model Maker's Workshop, my sponsor. And I had to modify that whole front wheel wells there to get those big tires in. The one thing I'm not happy with here is the battery. I kind of just glued that into place, but it looks hokey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manufacture a battery holder and a clamp and a hold down and reinstall that, because right now it just doesn't look good. It's just a battery hanging in the air. Plus I'll wire it. You know, I have the distributor wired, so why not wire the battery too? And I'll probably wire the master brake cylinder as well. So yep, there's those big meats there, and I do have disc brakes behind it, so I think that came out looking pretty nice. Yeah, battery in the trunk, Kevin, would have worked. Yep, he's commenting on that. Maybe I will do that. I got a shot of the interior. So it had a column shift, probably a 3-speed, or probably a 3-speed on a column shift, because it had the right amount of pedals for that. So I cut off the stock, and I put a floor shifter and a console in there. And bucket seats. And I also added seat belts and harnesses to the seats, and the console does not belong with the kit either. I use that for my kit bashing. I think it came out looking pretty good. So it's two-tone there. It's olive on top of dark green. But that black came out really pretty. I think that black is pretty. Thanks, Lugo. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, the colors do blend well. I think so too. So anyways, I thought that was it was easier to show you in slides there than move this model around. So let me get that out of the way. Okay, so what am I going to do next? I think last week I said that I had a 71 Olds 442 coming up, but I decided I didn't want to do that. I'm just not in the mood yet. So having Joe as my guest tonight kind of got me in the mood for this one. So this is going to be a 57 Nomad monogram kit. I'm not sure how good the quality of the kit is, but when you're doing patina, it'll probably work, because this is going to be a patina car. And speaking of Joe, when we met up a couple months ago for lunch, he gave me this big bag of sprue parts, and in it, I found these surfboards. So this is going to be a surfer car. It's going to have some oversized wheels on it as well. Really nice wheels. It's going to have a nice stance. Going to have a roof rack with the surfboard on top, but the car is going to be patina. So that's kind of my vision for that one. And then simultaneously, I'm going to work on two kits at the same time, so that when you're stalled with one, you could be working on the other. And that is going to be finally a Mopar. I've had comments in every video saying, when are you going to start building the Mopars in your background? So here comes a Mopar, 67th Plymouth GTX. And I've always pictured this color in this really pale yellow. So it's going to be painted with MCW enamel, Sunfire yellow. It's just a nice old school mellow yellow. So I think that's going to be a fun build. So, okay. So I'll tell you what also I got here. Got the bench update, that'll completed. Tell you what, why don't we bring Joe in? Joe, you ready to come in? Okay, I think he is. He tuned in a little late. He had me nervous. He tuned in just as the show was starting. So let me get his little intro going, and then Joe will be here as soon as the intro plays. Now let's welcome the king of patina himself, Joe Zaborsky of Joe's New Rush Shop. Hello, Joe. Welcome.
Hey, everyone. Hold on.
Good. Hang on.
Okay. I'm having trouble hearing you there. You're still there.
Yes, sir, Joe. It's just a rookie running the TV station tonight, and he had the camera on.
That's okay. It's funny. I have it running on my television over here to my left.
Okay.
Just so I can see stuff bigger when you put stuff up, and I got the volume down so we won't get feedback. But
there you go.
It's a good 6 seconds from anything that happens here, so I see it there.
Yeah.
I counted it as you were starting your video. And every time you made a move or did something or changed the picture, I counted. It's like 6 seconds exactly. Then it happens. So,
okay.
Oh, by the way, the Starliner is looking good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. Finally got to see it done, and I'm like, I'm seeing here. I'm like, all right, it looks
You had a
good.
little sneak peek for everybody. The video will be coming out this weekend. And I
Oh,
think
nice.
Slugo was asking me what paint it was. The black Slugo, that was Kaleido Gloss Black, just general gloss black, water-based acrylic. Uh, but yeah,
Really?
thank you very much.
Hey, no
I
problem.
see my brother Dave tuned in. I got to stop and say hi to my brother Dave.
Oh,
And
say hi.
I'm pretty sure my brother Steve's watching. He says he watches every week, but he isn't signed up to YouTube, so he doesn't make comments. But brothers, both of my brothers here, I really appreciate that. So Joe is right here in Youngstown. We met where at the Sharon
That's
SFASCOM, the Shenango
right.
Valley
Yeah, the
Auto
contest.
Modelers. Yeah. Met there, found out you were right here in Youngstown, and that's the day I also met Grandpa Mark, who's also right here from Youngstown.
Yeah.
And Jim from what is it, Rust Belt 007 is close by. So quite a few YouTubers and builders right here in our neighborhood. So
Yeah, we got quite a bit.
yeah, so we hit off pretty good. So Joe is he's got his own channel called Joe's New Rust Shop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As compared to Joe's old Rust Shop,
Yes.
which I'll tell the story for you to keep it real short. But
Yeah.
poor Joe here, he had a channel called Joe's Rust Shop, and I don't know, you had about 1,500 subscribers or so.
Yeah.
But he lost the channel. He got locked out of it and can't work. YouTube customer service, I guess, isn't helping him a whole lot.
Oh.
So he gave up and threw in the towel and just started a brand new channel. So he's only got what, 300 subscribers right now?
Right. And the thing is, the old channel is still there and functioning. So if you want to catch up on some of my old stuff, you can do it. I can't log into my own site and edit, or I can comment like a subscriber. I could subscribe to my own channel, but I can't log in and do a thing because they said the email associated isn't there, and the email I had too from Google is gone, and that's the email I had associated with it. So if they want to send me any codes to get back in, that's the only email they got. So I had no choice but to make a whole new channel. It all glitched in one day.
Oh, what a bummer.
And I don't know what happened. It happened when I was outside working on my weed whacker, trying to get it running. Somebody commented on one of my videos, and I went to comment back, and I hit send like I normally do, and it says an error has occurred. I'm like, okay, I'm outside. And when I'm in a certain part of my yard, I'm that close to the Wi-Fi and that close to the data from the Verizon. So I said, oh, it's because I'm out here. Once I get back inside, I'll be fine. It's happened before. I got back inside. I went back on there, and like, it's showing my old videos from my personal YouTube channel I used to have under my name. I'm like, well, that's not where I am. So I hit the drop down arrow where it drops down to switch channels, and Joe's Rust Shop isn't there anymore.
Oh boy.
And then I go to try to retrieve it, and they're saying there's no Google account with it. I go to my Google, my email, and my email's gone. It's wiped out. So I don't know if somebody hacked it, if it just had a glitch across the board. But unfortunately, everything with Google and stuff and YouTube is tied together like that. And if you break one link in the chain, you're done. So I just made a new one. So anybody that wants to go view the old channel, you can view them. I could probably go in and download each of those videos one by one and upload them to this one. But that's just too much time. So I'm just not going to bother.
Well, it gives you a whole new, fresh life now.
Yeah.
The only thing I have is an insurance policy for my channel, because I'd hate that to happen too, is I do every video that I have is backed up on a hard drive. When I upload them, I also save them to a hard drive. So if my channel got wiped out, of course I would lose all my subscribers and have to start fresh again.
Right.
But I would be able to upload every one of my videos and hopefully get back up to speed pretty quick.
Well, right.
Knock on wood.
Like right now, I don't even own a computer anymore. Everything's on the phone, and a lot of these job sites I go to, their websites to apply don't like phones for some reason. They want to see a computer. They want to see, Windows, whatever the new, I don't even know what the new operating systems are. Windows probably 15, 16 by now, 17. Or they want to see a Mac. They want to see an actual computer, which is weird because like so many people only have a phone now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I can't even like apply to some of these jobs. They sent me the second stage to this one. I can't do it unless I drive out to the shop or I drive to the library, but I don't want to use a public computer because I don't want to share my info on it.
Yeah, I hear you.
If I'm going to
Talk
do
about
it,
getting hacked. Right.
I'll do it with a friend's computer or something, but that's just a pain to borrow one or drive somewhere. I'm like, nah, I'll just let it go for now, but it is what it is, unfortunately. What are you going to do?
Well, hopefully this will get you some traction. Some of my viewers who were familiar with you, I hope they'll tune in. And guys, I do have links for Joe's channel in my description of this video, and specifically a two-parter about his patina work that he just put out the other day. It's very interesting. He shows exactly how he does that. And speaking of patinas, do you mind if I show a little slideshow of some of your work, Joe?
Go ahead.
This is, Joe builds excellent kits, both shiny, brand new stuff and patina, but his patina is what I'm in love with, man. Look at this stuff here. What a beautiful car here. Beautiful truck. Okay, so I got a little slideshow here of some of these things. The Chevy looks really good. So that's sort of what a resto mod there, right? It's got the patina, but look at the wheels on there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got the LS engine in there and stuff like that.
Sweet. But I just love your finishes.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, same car, but a different shot here. I thought my patina work was good, but I've got some learning to do here. So hopefully by the time we're done with this today, I'll have a better understanding of how he's pulling it off here. But I call him the king of patina for a reason. Look at this one. Tell me that does not look like a truck that's just been sitting out of field. So how'd you do that one, Joe? Is that like a sponge on technique too? Or?
I honestly don't remember 100%. Some of that's a happy accident. It might have been mixing paint brands on top of each other that caused a reaction. And then when I sanded it off, it just did that. That's a 48 Ford there. I think that's the Revell kit. The 48 Ford Coupe. That's it was a cop car option. But yeah, that one just came out so well. I just layered paint and then did some sanding. I might have did the salt technique. That one was so long ago. That was one of my early ones. And it just came out so great. I'm like, I almost hated to sell that body, but hey, it was what it was.
Very sweet though. Yeah, here's another shot of it there. But man, I tell you, that just looks like so many trucks I've seen sitting out in fields or whatnot.
And there's the back shot, mismatched trunk lid, and
yeah, you really got it. I like the way you streaked it down there. So, the rust is coming from those holes where the emblem is. And, you got a good eye for it for sure.
Thank you. The bumper was stripped of its chrome, painted with the red oxide and some black. And then I bare metaled randomly over it and tore some of the bare metal off to look like flaking chrome. So.
That's how you did that. Okay. Yeah.
I don't use that technique all the time, but sometimes I do, and it just it's looks just like a piece of flaking chrome, and it just works.
Okay, because I put my rust as a topical on my chrome, by sponging it on or whatnot. So I like that because you can have the little blisters and peels going on there. I like that,
and I still had some on top, so it's like rust stained and rusted through. It's a little bit of everything. It just looks old.
So what got you into building patina in the first place?
Okay, well, I was hoping you'd ask. Years ago, I've been building for years. And I got in some financial binds a few years ago. I was living in this house at the time. I had just moved into it. And I was, really tight on cash, bad. And so I looked at my model kit collection. I'm like, I guess you guys got to go. So I looked up what I had and I added it up in my head thinking, what would it cost to replace all these? And at the time, at the current price, I'm thinking it was over $3,000 worth of stuff. So I put it on Marketplace or maybe Craigslist at the time. This would have been 2011 or so, 2011 or 12-ish. and I put it $1,000 for the lot, everything. And I got no sales. I got guys that would email me and, hey, I just want the Camaro on the bottom left of the picture. I'm like, really? I mean, come on, $1,000 for all of it. So finally, a guy I knew, even though I didn't know I knew him at the time, called and said, "They want to come over and look at it." And so he came over. His name was Jeff. He's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Jeff. He came over and he looked at my stuff. He goes, "Well, I do slot cars. I'm just looking for, slot car material." I'm like, okay. He basically wanted to, pick and choose what pieces he wanted. So I was kind of disappointed there. But anyhow, he looks around. He saw some of my built stuff. He goes, "Damn, that's beautiful. I had this black and cream colored 57 Chevy two-tone." He goes, "You want to sell that?" I said, no. And he goes, "Hey, you want to make some money doing slot car bodies?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So he bought a handful of kits, and I started doing slot car bodies for him, glossy ones with bare metal and everything. And then one day he came to pick up his cars, and he goes, "Can you do patina? A nice barn find?" I said, "I never tried it, but I'll give it a shot." And I watched techniques online over the years, and I had a couple of my own. I'm just like, well, what the hell? So I started doing it, and he loved them, and he took them to the not the swap meets, but the drag race meets, which are literally just a few houses over. So he would take them over there and show all the other guys, and a couple of the other guys hired me to do their cars for him. And then one guy goes, "Why don't you have a Facebook page?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So he's the one that started my Facebook group page. He's actually one of the moderators, sadly, and I haven't heard from him. I can't get hold of him. So anyhow, he started this page. So I did a Nova one day, 69 Nova, did it all patina and rusty, and I took some pictures. I uploaded it to my page, and I was downstairs. I put my phone in my pocket right after I hit send. I walked upstairs with the laundry basket, put it on the bed, started putting laundry away. My phone beeped, looked at the phone. Some guy goes, "I'll take the Nova." I'm like, geez, it wasn't even a minute and a half from the time I got the steps. So I just started selling them on the Facebook pages. And the one guy goes, one buddy goes, "Joe, you're selling too low. Up the price." I'm like, really? No one's going to pay that much for just a body. I said, okay. So I bumped them up there, and they still went. And that's just how it started. I just started doing all those patina bodies, and I could market them constantly and always made some extra cash off them. So actually, they kind of like pay for my hobby. So I get a PayPal deposit, I go to a hobby shop, and I spend it. So hey, it works out.
Oh yeah, that's what I do. All the income that I get from doing this, it goes right back into the hobby.
Yeah, it's money I didn't have in the first place. So I don't feel bad about spending it on toys, even though sometimes when I get in a really deep hole, I do use it for groceries or utilities or whatever. Because after I got out of the hospital this past summer, I got laid off in late June, and literally like 2 days later, I ended up in the hospital. And unemployment didn't kick in. I applied for it June 24th. I didn't get my first payment until August 27th. So, I was broke. So I was selling some kits, and, luckily I had these to fall back on in the meantime. And my landlord's good enough to carry me and all that stuff. So that's kind of how it started. I just started, doing them for Jeff and the other guys, and started doing them online. I do take some requests on some. Only thing I hate about doing that, then I feel rushed to get them done.
Yeah.
Like I owe somebody. I hate especially when someone pays me in advance, though. Like they'll send me a kit, and they'll ask how much, and they'll PayPal me the money up front. I'm like, that's both good and bad. If I'm really broke that week, it's like 2 thumbs up. But at the same time, I feel pressured, like now I got to get it done. But I've been telling people, hey, look, I appreciate, the cash up front, but let it be known, it might be a month, it might be 6 months. You got to understand I have a life in between and other responsibilities. And I've said this before on my channel, and I've told people too, that this is partially art. And I have to have the right frame of mind up here to do this. I have to be at least somewhat into it. If I'm only getting it finished just to make the bucks, I'm not going to do as good. They're not going to come out the way I like them.
Right.
and I like to like be in the mood to do it. You know, so it's like, you know, yeah, I got plenty of time, especially now that I'm not working. But sometimes I just sit here and stare at them, and I start watching the TV, and I'll put one coat of paint on something or glue something together, and that'll be it for the day. But then other times I get on a roll where I'll spend a whole, you know, half a day, break for lunch, and do some more, and spend a whole day on one. It's a moody type thing. It's not something you just can go half-assed into. You know, it ain't like assembling IKEA furniture, you know, to where, yeah, you can just put it together, you just follow the steps and it's done. You know, you got to allow stuff to dry. That's another time killer. You know, you lay some paint on. Well, yeah, I could move to the next step, but the paint ain't dry, so it has to dry. So I start on something else, and I got a ton of stuff going at any one time here. So,
well, Joe, I don't know. As you were talking, I think I have a new name for your channel. If you ever want a new name, I think it's called the Hard Luck Model Builder.
that could be two. That could be two. Yeah, this year, as personally, 2025, I won't say this year because it's last year now. 2025 is probably the suckiest year I've ever been through. And not just for me, but my girlfriend, my mom, like everything in life happened at one time. You know,
I hear
being ill, my mom was in and out of ER, my girlfriend was in and out of the ER. You know, my mom passed. What else happened? You know, oh, I got laid off. You know, so it's like,
Joe, 26 is going to be your year, buddy.
yes, I hope so.
By the way, we're going through the slides here, and lots of great comments. Everybody's loving your work. And this CUDA that you got up there, that was in every high school parking lot and every McDonald's parking lot in the 70s.
Exactly. Oh, by the way,
everybody had that. Speaking
of the comments, because it's a little too far away from me, I really can't read them right now. So all of you, I can go back later and watch this and read them better. But thank you to any good compliments. Thank you very much. I just can't read them. They're just that much out of focus. I need binoculars.
And I will. I put a few up on the screen as we're talking, but a little later we'll engage the fans. And we'll do a question and answer, and I'll be happy. I'll happy to relay the question.
And I can see some of the questions you put up on screen. Read those fine, but the other comments are real tiny. Oh, and the CUDA, that was built for a group build I get into every year. It was late though because I was in the hospital when it was due. That's Mars Garage, which is a great channel to go watch. But he has a rust bucket group build every year, which is just up my alley. So it started, I think it was due July 4th. And of course, I'm in a hospital bed when it was due. So I had the kit picked out in my hospital bed. And I'm like, well, I can't wait till I get home to get on that. And I didn't get home till the late evening, not late evening, but early evening on the 15th of July. And then as soon as I was able to get up and walk around, I started on that. So that was one of the first models I finished after getting out of the hospital for his group build.
Yeah, it's outstanding. Because I don't know, we're probably close in age, but when I was in high school, I started driving in 76. So this is very much the way those 60s muscle cars were looking by 76. They were tired and worn, and mostly everyone that it looked nice was probably a repainted car by then.
Definitely. There was a kid in our high school. His name was Rodney Rako. I don't know whatever happened to him. I've tried to look him up. He was this like heavy metal looking dude. He wore the chain wallet, and he'd come into the classroom stomping his feet in time to AC/DC's Back in Black and singing it and playing air guitar. And I remember he had this like a 71, 72 Challenger that had a tunnel ram sticking out of the hood. It was one of the baddest cars in the high school parking lot at the time. It was really sharp. It was red, jacked up, just like that thing is, with big tires and everything. And he had a tunnel ram sticking out of the hood. It was, especially for a teenager, that's a cool car,
Right. In fact, one of the questions I had, Slugo's asking too, has Joe built his whole life? Well, I'm sure you didn't start as a baby, but no. when did you start?
Oh, that's another story I'm ready for. And I got a prop for it. Well, back when I was little, I had bunk beds, and we had taken them down and put them side by side. And because my slightly younger sister was afraid to sleep by herself in her bedroom, she'd sleep in my room in one of the down twin beds. Well, I learned that you could jump from one to the other, and that's what I was doing one night. My mom and dad had a bunch of people over, and me and my sister were playing in the room, and I'm bouncing. I was probably 8 or 9, and I finally started getting tired, and I didn't launch as hard as I should have. Hit the other bed, went face first into the windowsill, and I almost knocked myself out. So I got all bruised up here. I told my sister, just kill me. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. And I was crying. So I crashed out, thought nothing of it. Well, we went on a vacation like a week or so later. And, I told my parents, that I fell. I didn't tell them how. And I'm in the back of the car, and some guy's pumping gas at one of the places we stopped. And he looks in at me. He goes, "Your boy all right?" And, they're like, "Yeah." He goes, "I don't know. I'd have that looked at." So when we got back to town, they sent me to a hospital, and they did all the scans on me. And back then, they didn't have the electromagnetic crap. They actually glued wires to my skull, and x-rayed me and everything. Well, while I'm in the hospital, people brought me model cut kits as gifts, my classmates. And it was the MPC Army Jeep. It was the monogram, was it the snake CUDA, I think. Bernome had the snake, the yellow CUDA, and it was a motorcycle kit. So when I got home and out of the hospital, everything was fine. I tried to build my first model, and I started with the CUDA, and I probably used the whole tube of that Tester's orange cement. I didn't scrape plating. I didn't paint it. I never really finished it. The decals, I put the whole damn sheet in the water at one time, and all the decals came off. So I never finished that one. The Jeep, that was a glue bomb and a half. And the motorcycles, there's no way. At that age, first time I was going to build one of those. So I kind of gave up on that. Then a couple years later, we had a pharmacy. Anybody from Youngstown might remember on Midlothian, there was Curry's Pharmacy, which was a little tiny mom and pop type store that they had back then. And they always had a handful of models and toys on the one side. So my mom said, "Go over and get my prescription filled," to me and my sister. And here's $5 a piece, get whatever you want. So we go over there, and on the shelf, there was this. Now, the version I had was truly a 1975. This is the 96 selected subjects reissue of it. So I bought this, and I got a pack of the paint. I can't remember whether it was Pactra or a Tester, but I got one of those like 8 packs or whatever they are, and a tube of glue. I went home, and it was probably late morning. I started on it, and I painted everything the colors they said to paint it. And by that evening, it was done. Not pretty, probably, but it was done. And that was the first model I had ever truly finished beginning to end. And then literally maybe a year, we also went on vacation that year down to West Virginia. We went to a store, and I got a bunch of those monogram snap kits they had that were just new at the time. They had a van, they had the Toyota pickup, and I built those right out of the box, stuck the decals on them. They were fun. Then the big thing that was the turning point in my life was a hobby shop opened up a few blocks over. I lived in the Brownlee Woods area of Youngstown, and where the Mavar's grocery store used to be, the candy store is in there now, and a bunch of other stuff. And the Silver Mirror restaurant was there at the time. But in that plaza opened up a small hobby shop. It was just Struthers Hobbies. And that was it. I went in there, and you may as well melted kits down and plastic down, put them in a syringe, and injected them in my veins. That was the beginning of the end, so to speak. That was probably like late 70s, probably about 77 or so. And I was born in 64, by the way. So, I was like 11 or 12 when I started. And every time I got any money at all, that's where I went. And I just started building excessively. Every kit I got, then I moved to Camel. I used to go up a Hill's not grocery store, but department store and buy models. I'd ride my bicycle over to Struthers or my moped over. And then, that was it. I built pretty much all my life. There was a small, I'd say, very late 90s to about 2000 where I stopped temporarily. I had sold almost everything. I was doing wedding videos. I had bought a really nice camera, and I needed more editing gear. and mixers and stuff. So I spent all my money on that, and let models go for a while until the one night my sister calls me. I have two sisters. This is the really young one. He worked at Trumbull Camera and Hobby at the time, and they were right there, catty corner from Andrews. Another place I get models now. But anyhow, they had a cameras. It was cameras and hobbies and everything. Well, she calls me one night. I'm sitting at home. She goes, Joey, they're closing out the hobby department. The hobby department's on sale. You want to come up here and see what they got? I'm like, yeah, okay. And at the time, I was into the HO slot cars. So, well, I think I'll go up and see what they got. So me and my ex-wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, we drive up there. I go in there, and my sister's there, and her coworker, he's the assistant manager. He hands me a cardboard box about yay big, says, you fill this box, anything you want, $25. So I'm like, well, okay. So I put some kits, some paint, some glue, and this teddy bear for my girlfriend, and that was it. I got right back into building models again, and that just kept going and kept going and kept going until I started doing the slot cars too. So like I said, a couple years span I was out of it, and other than that, though, that's what it's been. Even though I buy more than I build, they're here.
I think most people do.
Yeah, I look at it this way: if I get to the point tomorrow, I mean, I know I'm going to retire here in the next few years, hopefully this coming November. But if I do have, no matter when I retire, I know I'm going to be on a very fixed income. Even if I can't buy new kits that often, I got plenty to live off of and build from probably the rest of my life. So there you go. Oh, we're doing the make a model for
Yeah. I thought I'd throw that in for a little bit of fun here.
Oh, go ahead. Let somebody else take it.
I thought you might be at a loss for words here, so I thought, I'd put this up for a second.
Oh, yeah. I'm 99% sure exactly what that is, but I'll let somebody else take it.
Okay, you're welcome to join right in.
Being I had something similar to that. I had a poncho. Now, I've had a few ponchos in my life. But yeah, that one probably, I'm not 100% sure of the year. I'm going to say 64 Grand Prix.
You got it.
Yeah.
Joe's the winner. 64 Pontiac Grand Prix.
I had a 64 Star Chief, which was basically a Catalina, the big four-door tank. The thing was huge. You could stand at the back bumper. You couldn't touch the rear window. And the car was massive. I loved that thing. It was a great car.
Yeah. I'm still scrolling through your stuff here, man. I tell you, I just love the patina. It's so realistic. Now, let me ask you: when you're doing the slot cars, are you using a special glue? Because like super glue is so fragile that if you just jar a model, things start shattering off of them. So what holds?
I sometimes use both. I'll use three. I'll use if it's plastic to plastic, I'll use some good model cement, like the Tamiya Thin or the Plastrut. But I use a lot of super glue. I also use some of the canopy glue for the windows. I'll super glue the corners in just to get it in there. And then, sometimes I use both. It's a mix. I put a bead around the windows, and it seems to hold. I haven't had any complaints yet. Nobody's saying anything about them falling apart, though they do go through some stress.
Yeah.
If you ever watch them run, I'm sure there's some videos out there of people slow-mowing them.
Well, these are drag strip cars, right? They're not oval, so they're not smashing into each other.
Right.
Okay.
The only time they can crash into each other is if they get deslotted, which occasionally happens. They'll lift out of the slot and go left to center and get hit by another one, or they won't stop at a time and they'll go through the end of the track and hit a wall or something and explode. They usually have a lot of glue at the end of the track and pillows and stuff.
I see.
To stop them from going that far. My buddy Jeff, he told me back in the day, one of the guys at the track was talking to another guy, and he had his slot car in his hand. And he's talking, and he set it down behind him right on the track, not thinking that somebody might run. At the exact same time he set it down, they did a run, and another slot car broadsided into it.
Oh. Let's see how good I am. Is that a 58 Ford F-150 on the screen there?
That's the 60.
60. Okay.
Yeah, that's that kit that just came out a couple years ago.
Okay.
And that one's got the full engine and everything. That one, that's another Mars Garage Rust. I put the modern Mustang engine in there, did the resto rod thing to it.
Yeah,
And,
looking at that right now, boy, you got everything wired and plumbed and everything in there. Look at that.
yeah,
Nice.
I went crazy on that one. That's a former Youngstown City Street Department truck. I got the decals made by STS and I sprayed them over. It reminds me of my neighbor when I was growing up. He was well, he was probably younger than I am now, but he looked like an old man when you were a little kid. But he used to buy the decommissioned city trucks as personal vehicles. And it just reminded me of something he would have had. Because back then they didn't use decal, big vinyl decals, the logo and stuff, the city seal and the name was painted on. So they just took spray paint and they would just spray over it. You could still see the outline of it below. So that's kind of the look I was going for in that one.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I like this one too. I like the photo bombing.
Yeah, no, those are 1/64 scale Hot Wheel cars that were, taken apart and stripped. What nice thing about the Hot Wheel car being they're metal, you could use real automotive or aircraft stripper on. You're not going to melt the plastic. So you can go down on those things.
Right.
And I did a bunch of patina, and that's my cat. She's no longer with us. That's Widget. If I was doing anything, so was she. She had to be part of everything. That's just how she was. But
still got people answering the trivia. But yeah, 64 Pontiac Grand Prix. Kenny is correct, but Joe had that one a few minutes back. Yeah, you got Garfield here. Where is it? Garfield sitting. Somebody wrote.
Yes.
or Garfield sighting.
Right.
Yeah. So let's see here. Okay, so that is the pictures I had for your rusty stuff, but let's look at your pretty stuff too.
Sure.
Like, well, even this one, this is sort of got a little bit of a weathered look to it.
Yeah, even though it would be in real life be fiberglass, I've had a few guys that want dirty and rusted. And today in the real world, you could do the wrap anyhow. A lot of guys are doing the patina wraps on vehicles. So that's kind of what this is. If it was really real dragster, it'd probably be a wrap or just paint effects. I guess you could do the same patina effects on fiberglass I do on plastic. So that's kind of what that's simulating there.
Cool.
But yeah, to watch a slow-mo version of the slot cars, when they take off, they twist and bend and flex just like the real thing. That's the snap kit, the Revell Wheels of Fire snap kit.
Okay.
It's actually a really nice kit. I wish they'd reissue it. The proportions and everything are great on it. You could build it with fenders or without. I built it with, and that's a custom paint mix. That's I know I can't remember the name of it now. Hold on, let me see if I have it. It's these little not weathering powders, but they're pearl powders. You just mix a very, very, very small amount in the clear, and then you can spray over them. So that's what I use there over that gray. And one thing is, if you do mix it with your clear and use it, you got to clean the airbrush now. I've been told, I read the article in Scale Auto years ago, that it will turn to jelly in no time flat.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so like if you do use it, you got to clean the airbrush immediately afterwards. Well, that's the
GTO's pretty.
That was built for the Lucas C. He had a group build a couple years back on Facebook that was build the unbuildable kit, because that kit by many people's standards is crap. That's the MPC, also the AMT, same thing, 67 GOAT. It doesn't fit well at all. In fact, I used the chassis from the Revell 66. I used the engine from the AMT 62 Catalina in it. So it's a mishmash of parts to make it build. So then that's what and then that one, that was for a friend of mine. Well, it was for a friend of a friend. He asked, hey, my buddy's into Trans Ams and Van Halen. Could you build a Trans Am Eddie Van Halen guitar style? I'm like, yeah, I sure can. So that was a commission build there.
Okay, that's pretty sweet paint job there. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Did the Eddie Van Halen thing on a car. So,
Well, you're very talented, Joe. Very talented.
thank you.
I love
And,
this Falcon, this
and
Ranchero.
that's another group build. I can't think for the life of me who does it every year. In fact, it's coming up soon. He does a small scale group build every year, and that's what I use, the Ranchero kit there, and that's painted Tamiya coral blue, which is a nice turquoise color. And then I use some sparkle 1K clear on top of everything, which doesn't really show in the photos, but it's there.
Right.
And I used a big old rat fink decal on the tonneau cover.
67
Correct.
Impella.
Another group build. That was for Jason at Blue Ox Model Shop. That was for his yearly Street Machine group build. I think it's been a couple years since I did that one. I've lost track. Group builds are good and bad. They really get me, pushed to get one done. But I've taken on so many, I'm never going to get them all done, especially this year. Yeah. Being hospitalized and everything.
Well, you were saying earlier too about even the commission jobs. I like to build what I want to build when I want to build because it's all about the mood. And and I feel bad because a lot of the creators are doing group builds. I mean, boy, I've lost track of how many there are a year.
Oh, but God, there's more and more every year. In fact, I hosted a few years ago. I had a couple of my own, and they're fun. There's all kinds. Sometimes they're a specific vehicle only, like see what you could do with this kit. And other times they're a subject, a patina, like Mars with the rust bucket group build. Yeah. That's always fun for me. But sometimes they do it, race cars or drag cars. Well, then that at least opens up, what kits you can use. But every now and then there are specific kits. That's cool and not cool. But I'm in a lot of group builds right now, but most of them aren't going to get done in time. In fact, I'm in the USAC one, and I've barely touched it.
Yeah, I that's the only one I'm doing because I figure, boy, you got to do that if you got a channel. But
yes.
But I put that one away too because you can't reveal until March 15th.
Yes, I think you're allowed to reveal steps, but not the whole thing.
Right.
I'm gonna have to, if I'm gonna get mine done in time, I'm gonna have to get moving on it.
Yeah, I gotta get back on mine because I haven't even modified the wheel wells or anything.
Oh yeah, I bought all the parts. I got the kit, the aftermarket wheels, tires, and engine. I just got to put it all together and paint it. And I got the goodies, and I haven't done nothing.
There's another one. I like this one.
Thank you. That was for one of my group builds. It was called 10 by 1110. And what that was a couple years ago, since I have so many started projects, I was going to try to get at least 10 of them done by my birthday, which is November 10th. I think I only got like 4 of them done out of 10, but that's one of them.
Nice build.
Thank you.
Got ourselves a Corvette. What year? 65? No. Is it 65?
I lost track. Okay. I think it is, but it's not just any Corvette. It is the Corvette of Joe Biden.
Oh,
our former president.
That's right. I know he had one, right?
Yeah, if you want, there's a video out there. Anybody who wants to go check it out, whether you like him or not is beside the point. I don't care. I'm neutral, but I like the car. He's in a video with Jay Leno. Just look up Jay Leno, Joe Biden. It'll come up. That Corvette was a wedding present from his father when he got married to his first wife.
Wow.
And Jay Leno goes, I got a stinking gravy boat and you got a Corvette.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's just a small block vet. So I converted it to a small block, and I got the flat hood from another kit. So it just made it as close to his as I could.
Right. Just looking at this engine here, is that carburetor 3D or something? That doesn't look like a kit carburetor.
Yeah, definitely. That's somebody's 3D, and I don't remember whose it is. I have a bad habit, and I got to start doing that build sheet thing that some guys do, like listing on every build I do, whose aftermarket parts I used. Because that's the kit engine, that's the kit carburetor, 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 but it's one of the many carbs I have. And every time I buy from Model Car Videos, MCV products, he always sends free carbs. No matter what you order, you always get a little baggie of like 3 or 4, 5, 6 carburetors. So I got carburetors like you wouldn't believe now. So I don't remember whose that was. But
right. Yeah, it looks good. I like the braided hoses and stuff. Looks good too.
Yeah, that's elastic cord. You can get like at a craft store.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah, then I just use I just put the clear paint with a little brush or a toothpick as the fittings.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the thicker the radiator hose is that cord that like you wrap, you get around Christmas presents and stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They have it in chrome and they have it in gold. And
see, that's my favorite stuff. Instead of having to buy all the expensive aftermarket stuff,
yes,
it's the stuff you can pick up in craft store and sewing departments and stuff that improve your models, because that stuff is dirt cheap.
Right. Now I don't remember on these carbs if these are the aftermarket. I think these are the kit carbs in that Mobius AFX car. I don't think
Yeah. Well, they're pretty detailed looking for a kit. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And then I add the lines and the wires and stuff, make it look even better. But
see, I'm having trouble with the 3D model engines. I'm having trouble wanting to put air cleaners on there because they look so good with the carburetors.
Exactly. I've been thinking of experimenting with those tiny magnets under the carb, like hollow some of it out, put a little magnet, and then put another one in the air cleaner. As long as you have them going in the right direction so they don't reject each other.
I made that mistake.
You might be able to get them to fit over each other. And because, yeah, I'm with you. I hate covering them up because, like, you paid for all that little detail and then you're going to cover it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they are nice.
Well, a lot of these 3D engines, man, they have got the valve train in the heads and the cylinders and the block. And I guess, the cool part about that is like you could do a garage diorama and have something on an engine stand that's half torn down, and that would look really cool,
Definitely. That's the idea with those, because I can't believe when you look at some of these carbs, I mean, there's a gap, there's an actual opening where the lines go or the linkages go. I'm like amazed it could print around things and under things.
Yeah. That's pretty. That's pretty.
Now that's a USAC build. That was the year that Model Car Videos. I can't think of his name now. It'll come to me. But he picked the car that year, or the truck. And that's the Monogram 55. You could use either the panel truck or the pickup, and that's an aftermarket 3D engine. That's a whatchamacallit, Mustang Coyote engine, whatever you want to call it, 5.0. And wheels and tires, I don't remember what those came from to save my life, but I went with the whole orange and black theme. It's kind of like Halloween. That's in fact maybe what I should name it, because it has that look.
I was kind of thinking that would have been a good October build.
Yes, but that was for another group build.
It is. That is really sweet. That is. Okay, so yeah, I'll tell you what. That is all the pictures I had for the slides here. Hey, let's do another car trivia one. What do you say?
Sure.
Let's get it up on the screen here. Okay, folks, make, model, and year of this car. My family had one of those, and the year prior.
Ah, yes. Gotta love those.
And the year after, I think. Yes, I think we had 3 years. Okay, somebody's saying Galaxy. Okay, so that's only part of it.
I know Lucas C has a resin grill for that kit that's different than that grill, because there was the deluxe grill and the standard grill for those. And the standard grill doesn't have that center bar. It's a little more open, something like that.
Right.
There's 2 different grills. He has the, whatchamacallit.
Yep, we got a couple winners there.
Oh, cool. I do, however, here, I don't know how well they would show. I've got a few of my other group builds here too. I don't know how well it would show up or not.
Hold on a second. Let me make you
Sure.
big.
Go ahead. Let finish the trivia.
Oh, good. No, we got it. Somebody won that.
Oh, great.
Kevin got it.
Another group build. This is for Grandpa Mark's group build. This was the theme was 60s. So I went with the 65 Ford pickup. It's on my you can see better pictures on the one of my videos where I present it.
Yeah.
But that's
nice.
The stuff in the bed. It's got the city seal decals that I had STS print for me. STS is great for decals, and got the aftermarket bull bar. I think I got the grill guard. I think that came from oh God, I can't think of the name of it now. Not Texas 3D. Oh, one of them. I'm drawing a blank on it now. Yeah, that was one of them. One of my few shiny ones. And ironically, that's flat paint. That's to me a flat blue, like blue gray. It's a military, but I put 1K clear over it.
Okay.
So that 1K clear will like gloss up even flat paint because that expands your whatchamacallit. It expands your color palette. It gives you a chance, like I can't use that. That's flat. It doesn't matter. What else do I got? A bunch of my build-ups here. I don't know why some of my pictures wouldn't show or wouldn't open for you.
By the way, Joe, we're going to go ahead and let some question and answers go by too. So folks, if you have a question for Joe or myself, or you just want to talk about anything, doesn't have to be 100% on topic. Joe and I will be answering those. I do apologize. I don't answer your comments all along because I'm trying to do the show too, but that's pretty. 68 dark.
68. Yeah, I use the plain taillight panel, and I don't know how well it's going to show, but I use STS made me these decals, the Dart lettering.
Nice.
So this is a more base model Dart, even though it's got day 2 type engine. But it's basically stock. I got the underside weathered, and then it's got the dog dish hubcaps and aftermarket flat hood, which I don't remember who this came from. The only problem is it's slightly warping, which is really weird because my models aren't stored in a hot attic or anything like that. In fact, my 68 Roadrunner down here, I'm going to have to get a new hood. I pulled it out the other day to take a picture. If it was a real car, I would say there would probably be about a gap that big. That's how badly the hood's warped.
Wow.
It just warped in the box. I pulled it out. I'm like, so I heated it up under hot water, and I tried to bend it back and snap. So I'm going to have to order it. Luckily, it was painted flat black, so I don't have to worry about color matching to the rest of the car. But, it sucked. So, what are you going to do? But I don't know why it warped. It's not in a hot attic. It's not in a window where the sun's beating down on it. But it's time. I'll read some questions here. I'll have to read them off the TV.
Okay. Well, we got one up here from Serge right now. That's a long sentence. So I got to read that. You guys, you don't finish your guys' miles. How far will it take you guys to get done to winter? And I'm not sure if
I'm not 100% sure. I think he's just asking with winter in our area, like, are we limited on time to build?
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's what he's asking. For me, it doesn't really matter because I got a paint booth indoors now. And even before that, I used to take stuff to the shop at work and I used to paint in the shop. So I have no problem. So
okay. Yeah, that is. He kind of clarified it with the second question here.
Yeah, seasons really don't have an effect on me all that much. I know a lot of guys like don't touch models all summer. I don't care. I have a house with central air, so I'm in here in the summer. I'm in here in the winter. I'm in here in the fall. I may have to stop to go cut grass or clean up leaves or shovel a drive, but I always make a little bit of time for the things I like to do.
Sure.
Okay.
It's
just the way it is.
And Serge, I'll give you my answer on that too. My favorite painting is the enamels and 2K clear. That is my favorite paint job. It gives me my best finish whatsoever. But in the wintertime, I was going with water-based acrylics, and now Kaleido happens to be my sponsored gallery. But Kaleido has these water-based acrylics and a water-based clear that is really easy to work with, and they spray on pretty good. So what I do is I cannot spray out my garage. I can't go in my backyard. And even though my spray booth is right next to a walkout basement door, and what I do in nice weather is I'll just open that door and just let that vent right outside next to me. I don't want to put a hole in my block wall. So in the winter, I just switched over to the water-based stuff, and it doesn't slow me down. So no, I don't even prep for winter at all. You know. But that's a good question. Good question.
Yeah, thank you. Hope we answered them.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Do you ever use duct tape on your rusty dusties? Just little bits. Okay, to look like shredded stuff.
Yes, I do. What I do is I take a piece, I set it on my cutting mat, a piece of glass, piece of plastic, and I cut it in strips, approximately what would be in scale, the width of duct tape, with that 2.5, 3 inches wide. And then I paint it silver, just good old, you can use tester silver or any flat silver, because duct tape comes in dark gray, comes in bright silver, dark, all kinds of silvers. And then I just, paint it with silver and strip it off. And I use it for like a patched seat or a, patched top, or on dragsters, like, real cars, like race cars where they have a broken panel, I'll duct tape panels together with it. And It really, I don't use real duct tape. I use actual masking tape, because real duct tape's almost too thick and too stringy, for scale. If you're doing really large scale, you might be able to use it. But so I should correct myself. Yeah, I use duct tape simulation with masking tape, and it makes a great duct tape painted silver. And then if you paint it after you cut it, then you'll get the edges too. It'll be all so it'll look good. But that's what I've been using.
Okay, and Slugo, I imagine you're saying that because basements don't have windows or high humidity, one of the two. So either one. Okay, so I'm right next to a door, so I can vent outside. And even if I was upstairs next to a window, I would not be venting outside right now, because it's only in the single digits out there. And as far as humidity goes, I do run a dehumidifier. Of course, this time of year, it's really dry, as a matter of fact. I mean, even though we got tons of snow, the humidity is very, very dry in the house right now. So
I would say, too, dry has its disadvantage, too, though. This time of year, you get a lot of static electricity. Like when you're sanding on plastic, it makes more of a charge. And I know it's with me, because I got the 3 cats. I'm sanding on plastic, and the next thing I know, there's little hairs stuck to it.
Yeah.
So I gotta go rinse them off, and you gotta stay dry. Now, as for me, I got my paint booth vented 24/7. Right out the window here, I got a piece of fiberglass in the bottom of the window with one of those dryer vents that has the flapper valve. And honestly, as cold as it's been, I can put my hand right up against that window now. I don't feel any cold coming through it.
Yeah, it could be done. I would do that. I would insulate around it. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think because this window faces south, and you don't get as much wind as if it was the north window, or the west window, where the wind would be coming right at it. I don't feel nothing. So I'm really lucky there. I thought for sure it'd be freezing cold, and I'd have to take that thing out of the window, close the window, open the window, put it back in every time I wanted to spray, and I wanted to avoid that. At all costs. If I have to put a thicker, piece in that window and close it on it, that's what I'll do. Right. The only disadvantage now, comes summertime, I can't open this window to get air in unless I take that out.
Okay.
Or I move the screen to the top sash, I then bring the top sash down. But like I got central air, I got a fan. So if it, in the really warm weather, it ain't gonna matter.
So Serge has a follow-up question here.
Sure.
So Serge, drying time and curing time on water-based. That's the other thing I like about that Kaleido is even the build that I'm doing right now that'll be out this weekend, my 1960 Ford Starliner, that is all done with the water-based acrylics. That's the one I showed earlier in my video. Here, I'll put a picture up again. Okay, so that is water-based clear, and water-based acrylics, and they're water-based clear. Every coat of paint, I only waited overnight. Or about 20 hours. So everything was cured enough to tape off in 20 hours. It was cured enough to clear coat over in 20 hours. And then once it was clear coated, 20 hours later, I was able to sand and polish. Now that's very close to the 2K Clear. The 2K Clear has a hardener in it. I would still not work on it within 24-hour period. So with the Kaleido water-based and the 2K Clear, I'd say there's really no difference in cure and dry time. But the other stuff like Createx or whatnot, I would wait about a week for their water-based acrylics to sand and polish and stuff like that, or even tape off. So it just depends on what water-based acrylic you're using. What do we got here? Bill had a question. The 60 Nomad is an old Craftsman kit. Not even the seats are separated. Oh, okay. They were talking on the side about the old 60. Okay. Somebody was asking about like if it came with door handles or something too.
Yeah, none of that. It's, I have that. It's an improved version over the original. I mean, it's not a one-piece chassis now. It is separate pieces. The interior of the seats are separate, which is nice if you want to leave the back seat out. Hey, it's out. It's not molded in. So it's a decent kit. It doesn't have an engine, but you could throw one in. It needs an engine and a radiator. I found it weird that they put a core support in it with a hole, but no radiator. They give you a master cylinder, everything else for the firewall, but no engine. So it's like, which is no big deal because I've got engines in a bag down here. I've got 3D printed engines. So if I ever do get around to building a whole one for me, yeah, it'll be a miracle because, I mean, there's
I love that one too. That's just beautiful.
Yeah, that's going out tomorrow morning.
I was with you when you bought that kit, and I regret that I didn't pick one up too.
I can't believe how quickly he sold those.
Yeah.
I mean, that case was up to here, and it just dropped down like right now. And now they're hard to get. I was in the hobby shop today, and I mentioned to Tom about these. He goes, I can't get them. He goes, my distributor says out of stock. You can't even get them anymore. Yeah. So I'm like,
it's a cool car. Yeah, I mean, you could do anything with that, from surfer wagon to pro stock, anything you want with that car.
Yeah, you could have a ton of fun with that. So it's like
Slugo's talking about water-based acrylics, and I just want to bring this up too, because he's a diehard water-based because the wife will not allow those fumes in the house too. But the only thing I get pounded on comment-wise when people watch my videos, especially the newer ones where I'm doing the Kaleido paint jobs, I mean, first of all, they think I'm trying to sell a product just because it is my sponsor, but the finish that I show you is the finish. I mean, I'm not faking that, but I get a lot of people like, just coming back to me. I will never change from MCW enamels. No way. I don't know why you're doing a water base. And folks, I just want to share with you, not everybody can do that. Not everybody can, some people are in apartments. Some people have pets or something. Some people have ailing spouses where you just can't have the fumes. So I demonstrate both paint jobs because there are people that want to have really nice finishes, but cannot use the enamels and the 2K clears. And that is my preference. And on a good weather day, any day of the week, that's what I will build with. I have about 50 paints standing by when the weather starts getting nice. And I also have about 50 water-based acrylics to get me through the winter. But it's like the Harley people too. Don't ever ask a Harley guy what oil to use. People just are diehard, dead set on their answer. But I have a show and model building people that are wanting to learn from me. So I'm demonstrating both because not everybody can do it. So it's just as easy as that.
Actually, once it gets warm and sunny again, I'll probably do some painting on the back porch again like I was.
Yeah.
Because I like it, because as long as it's not super windy where the paint comes out and makes a 90-degree turn or blows back at me, as long as it's not super windy, I like it because you got plenty of sunlight. I could just put the model on a stand and flip it, and I don't have to worry about, staying within the paint booth. It's just, hey, a lot easier. Just go out there and hit it. Plus, I could still, whenever I want to, I can go out to the shop and paint out there.
Yeah.
I still got a key to the shop, and the boss don't mind. I got the alarm code. So if I woke up 2 a.m. and thought, I want to lay a bunch of paint down, I could just throw it in the car, drive out there, and go in there at 2:30 a.m. and paint away. He doesn't care, and it's big and wide enough. The overspray is not going to hurt nothing or damage anybody's vehicles or anything like that. I could just go in and shoot them all and have a good old time. So I'm fortunate in that way.
Yeah.
I got a few options here. Now that I got the paint booth, I'm good in here. I'm good outside. Whatever the case may be.
Well, it's like my rattle can painting. When I do that, the booth is nice, but it's not really for me to get my big hands in there with a spray can and all that. I'd rather go in the garage, or actually I'll go on my back patio a lot, but if you've seen the picture earlier,
you're not doing that.
I can't go on my back patio right now.
No, that's not going to happen.
But anyways,
plus the paint would probably freeze midair before it hit the model right now.
So Kevin's got Kaleido is expensive compared to others. I think he's putting it in the question form. Well, Kevin, here's the thing. I don't have the prices right in front of me, but they sell sets. And, they're 12, 24 quantity sets. So they're a little bit pricey up front. And they sell individual little bottles. And there are these small little bottles. I can't read it right now. 20 milliliters. Okay. I think these are about $2 or $3, but you can get 2 complete kits painted with that color if you're careful, if you don't mess up or whatever. So, for $3 or $4 and get 2 kits, that's cheap. My MCWs are $6 plus the hardener plus the 2K clear. And I can get 2 paint jobs out of those bottles at $6 as well. The clear for Kaleido, I think it's like $15, but it's a big bottle. I forget how many milliliters that is, but I mean, you're going to be able to probably spray a couple dozen cars. So I don't know. It's not very expensive in my opinion. Probably cheaper than nail polish, which is your favorite, Kevin. You ever shoot nail polish there, Joe?
I think one time years ago I got some, and I probably stole it from my wife at the time. I dumped some in and mixed it with some thinner, and I think I got it probably on a die cast. Because I did die cast solely for a couple years in between models and stuff, and I think I used one of those. It came out pretty damn nice because they got some wild colors.
Yeah,
very wild colors, and you can get them dirt cheap because you go in there, buy the bargain bin and stuff. It just feels kind of weird when you're a guy and you're in those nail polish department. Unless you have your wife or girlfriend with you, it looks kind of weird. But of course, today nobody will probably bat an eyelash at it, so to speak. But but I stick to mostly paint. I mean, I still got a ton of rattle cans. I love the Tamiya. I haven't tried my Kaleido paint yet. I got to try it. I bought a few sample bottles, and I got MCW paint coming out the yin yang here. I got to start using it. I don't know what the shelf life on the lockers are. I should really write them and ask them, what's your shelf life?
Yeah.
Because I had them custom mix me a color. When I was in the hospital, I was watching one of those automotive restoration shows. Where they redo hot rods and stuff. And in the one shop, they were redoing, it was an old Packard, I believe. And they were doing it in this color called, I don't even remember the name of it. It was some odd color, Ember Glow. That was it, which is also Chrysler and Dodge Bittersweet. And so I looked on MCW's site because all the guys were making fun of the car, saying, it's pink. You're painting a pink car. And it is kind of a pinkish coral orangish color. Kind of neat. I liked it. So I looked on MCW's website and I don't see it. So I wrote them while I'm laying there in the hospital, and the guy goes, we can custom mix it for you, but you have to buy at least 2 bottles of it.
Yeah.
Which I did. It wasn't that much. Now I had the money at the time, that was a bad thing being in the hospital with a phone in my hand, because when
I couldn't
got
believe
home,
that. I was following you when you were doing that, and you were in the hospital bed doing a video,
yeah, and
and
my
you're
whole
telling me how you're sitting there bored ordering stuff.
and
I'm
my
like,
kitchen counter looked like this. There was a mound of my girlfriend stopped at my PO box of resin and paint and everything else. Um, and then I got home too, because what happened was I'm laying in the bed, I'm bored, and I got a thing on my phone. Well, I got my final paycheck. It was direct deposit. I'm like, well, I got some money now, and unemployment's going to kick in any day now. Oh, what the hell? So I started ordering stuff. And then after I took my bank account and went like this, that's when unemployment started fighting me and declined my claim. And
oh
I'm like,
no.
oh, God, you idiot. You should have
Yeah.
waited.
Yeah, you
And I'm
got to wait till you're sure, buddy.
and I can't fight them now because I'm in the hospital. I'm like, I got to wait till I get out of here. And so that's what I did. I got home and literally went to the unemployment office the very next day, had my brother drive me up there, and I reapplied. What happened was I had told them I'm in the hospital because they're asking me, are you looking for a job? I'm like, well, not right now. And so I
You
talked to this
should have
lady.
said, yeah, maybe a doctor or a nurse or something. I'm in the
I should
hospital
have,
here.
because here's what happened. They had me meet with an actual unemployment rep, because this place is a Ohio Means Jobs place, is actually a subsidiary of the unemployment service. She goes, well, we have one of our actual reps coming in next week, so you want to meet with him? I'm like, sure. So I came in the next Thursday, and I met with this lady, and I gave her my paperwork. She goes, well, I'll be honest with you. You submitted this saying you're incapable of working right now. I said, yeah, temporarily. She goes, well, in order to file for unemployment, you have to be able to work. I'm like, well, I will be able
Oh,
once the doctor gives me clearance.
right.
She goes, well, maybe you could find a nice office job where you sit at a desk. I'm like, lady, I've been doing the same thing for 32 freaking years. I said,
I hear you.
I don't know nothing else. I'm not going to get a job as a secretary or a office manager, So I reapplied because they turned me down, and I left the medical history out of it. And sure enough, they finally approved me. But yeah,
Oh,
I
good.
blew so
Good.
much money. But I got that paint, and I'm like, I haven't used it yet. I got the Chrysler 300 kit by Mobius. I'm thinking of using it on that, and I'll still have plenty left over for another kit.
Good.
So I may use that and maybe put a pearl overcoat on it and use it for a custom color.
There you
But
go.
I do got to find out what their paint life is, the shelf life on it, because I got tons of it.
Yeah. Joe, questions are flying by here, so
Sure,
let's try
let's
to
go.
get
Let's go.
back on it. Okay, so John here. Am I happy with my paste spray booth? I absolutely am. It's nice and big and roomy, and that fan is powerful enough that I can spray right out front of it instead of tight inside of it. And it's great for the camera angle. If you watch any of my videos, I think my camera angles are better than they used to be. I used to have to straddle the tripod with the camera right in front of me, so I was painting around the camera like this, and it was very tough. And then people would complain because I can't see the video because your hand's in the way. So I like it. Joe, they're asking what booth you got.
I don't know what the brand name is. It's that Amazon one everybody has. It's kind of a folding one, but I just
Okay.
leave it. I leave it unfolded. It's a little smaller than what you got, and I actually like what you have because it's bigger.
Yeah.
It'd probably be better for spray can, like you said, getting your hand in there. This is more or less an airbrush only booth.
Yeah.
And
I tell you what, I wish that I would have known that you were looking, because I think it was the day that I got my paste booth that you posted that you just ordered one, because I would have given you mine,
Well, of course, that's how it works.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this will do for now. The only thing I don't like a lot, being it is smaller and it's got that filter material rather than a whole filter, you could just change like yours has. This one, I'm going to have to cut filter material to replace it. But I still like it, but I kind of wish I got something a little bit bigger. I'll probably upgrade someday, but it'll work for now. I do like it, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the brand name. I got it on Amazon. I think it was like $90 total or something like that, or 65. I'd have to go back through my history and look for it.
Yeah, and they work okay. I ended
Yeah,
up putting a bathroom fan on mine. I tore the back fans out of it, and
right.
I duct taped
I
a
seen
bathroom
that.
fan, and boy, gave a turbocharged power.
Well, I tell you what, this one does have great suction. I've had no problem with it taking the paint out. The only thing I'd say about using a bathroom fan, make sure it's an induction motor. If it's a traditional brush motor, you might blow up and go boom. Yeah. If it's one of those motors that have the arc when it's running,
yeah.
uh,
I don't even know what that had, but boy, that could be it. Yeah, I never considered that.
yeah, what would probably happen? You'd probably just get a quick flash fire and singe your beard and eyebrows. But it could catch the whole house if the whole thing goes up. So yeah, you're supposed to use induction fans. So there's no arc there to set that off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very good point, Joe. That's a very
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah. Be careful with that.
Okay, people, don't listen to what I just said because. Hey, let's do another trivia one.
Go for it.
Okay, folks, make, model, and year of this car.
Oh God, that's too easy. I'll let
I
somebody have
know, and the hint is the back view.
it. Yes.
If I gave that away.
Yeah. The irony of that is back then people actually took that out and had them put the following year window in it.
There you go. Kenny B got it. Kenny B got it.
People like actually had the dealerships redo those windows, and now I bet they're kicking themselves because
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
that's just like the Superbirds and the Daytonas. They couldn't give them away when those cars came out.
Okay, y'all getting it right, but
Yeah.
Kenny beat you first. Yeah, I knew that one was going to be easy, especially the back view, because from the front, I don't think you could tell that
No.
it was the 63. So.
Yeah, the front is subtle things in all those years, like how many vents they had or the trim, but that back window is like a dead giveaway on that one.
Right.
A 1 year thing on that.
Okay, we are coming up on an hour and a half. I try not to run too long on these because
Yes.
I know they can get boring, but I do have a question for everybody that's in the room right now. Looks like there's about 68 people, and I've been watching the count, and it's like in the last half hour, the count's gone up a lot. Opinions, everybody. I'm starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I was thinking maybe 8 p.m. would be a better starting time for the people on the West Coast. Just want to throw that out there. Is 7 p.m. a good time for everybody? I think people on the East Coast, it's probably okay. But if it's the West Coast, it's early. So, just let me know right there. I'm kicking around the idea of possibly postponing that because I do notice that on the videos that the chat room seems to get busy about the time I'm signing off. So,
for me, it don't matter being that, I'm in the same time zone and I'm not working, so it doesn't matter. I'm up to about 11 anyhow. So for me, it doesn't really matter at all,
okay.
right now. But 8 would work for me. It's become a new thing on Friday nights, though. It's 7 p.m. I'm usually building along while you're doing your show here.
Yeah, I'm really appreciating it. I'm appreciating the viewers. I'm having a lot of fun doing the show. I'm getting a little more comfortable with it as I go along. What time, Ken Slugo? I was asking if I bumped it to an hour later, is it a better time? So right now I start at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But anyways, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun doing it. It's just a different format. And somebody had made a suggestion, why don't I have a panel of like 4 or 5 people? Well, first of all, a lot of podcasts are already doing that, and I like to try to be a little different. But there may be a time where I do have a couple extra guests on because we may be on a topic where I want a few more people to weigh in on. But right now, I like the one-on-one. And as you can see, as I'm talking to Joe here, it's hard to even get our whole conversation in because there's so much to talk about. And if I had 5 people on there, we'd probably be on for 4 hours like some of them are.
Yeah, get Grandpa Mark in here next.
Yeah. He and I were talking and possibly going to do lunch this weekend. he's a busy man.
Yes, he seems to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even stay at the swap meet a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I started talking. He goes, "Hey, I got to go to work." I guess he got called to his job, and hey, work comes first.
Yeah, I just don't want to be a pest. He knows that I want to do a show. So the ball's in his court. Although I got to tell everybody, if you were listening to my previews on my other videos, I said, hey, Joe's in Youngstown, so he's going to be in studio with me. Just want to explain that one real quick in case you're wondering. But I tried to set that up. With the cameras I have, they're just not good for two people. By the time I got the width of, where I backed the camera off to get two of us in there, we'd have to be sitting so close almost on each other's laps. I tried all kinds of different stuff. Perhaps a different camera would work. Multi-cameras would be great, but I need somebody to operate that. So I just told Joe, hey, Joe, let's just do it this way. So my idea before was going to be for Mark, Joe, and myself to have a show where we all sat around a table. And I'd still like to do that, but right now with the equipment I have and the setup I have, it didn't work out real good. But that's one of the reasons we're all going to go to lunch here. And Joe, when Mark hooks us up there to do lunch, I want you to be there.
Sure.
And by the way, at the beginning too, I was saying that I met Jim at 007 Rust Belt. He was in here earlier. I don't know if he still is, but I saw him pop in earlier.
Great.
He's another guy I'd like to get on the show. He's another patina builder.
Oh, good.
Somebody was asking why you got into patina builds, but I think you kind of already, I had kind of asked that and you explained it. So let me see if I had any other good question for you.
Yeah, see what else we have here. See what else we got.
Kevin Smith, Mr. Golden Throat, Mark radio voice. Mark definitely has the voice. Oh, I want him to do my promos and my intros for me. He's so good. That voice, he could tell bedtime stories and stuff. He could have a channel where he just tells stories.
Yeah, he does. He does. And there's a guy over at the Ollie's, one of the cashiers. There's one guy. He's got this. His voice is booming. He reminds me of Boots Bell from back in the 70s.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, when I was a kid, Boots Bell got in a fender bender at the corner of Midlothian and Sheridan. And me and my buddy were walking by, and he's out there talking to the cops, saying what happened. We're way over here, and you would have sworn he was 2 feet away from me. His voice was so deep and booming and carried, like you could hear every word he's saying, It was unbelievable. And reminds you of Mark. He's got that same kind of voice.
Okay, Kenny's asking days and times that Joe posts videos. Looks like you're doing it darn near daily and random.
I'm trying to. I got to get my butt moving to a scheduled thing and more content. But sometimes I just forget and get lazy. Now I've done a few in the past few days. I'm not really on any set schedule, but I'm going to try to get more content out there, more how-tos, because people seem to like the.
I was gonna say that, Joe. All your videos are great. They're entertaining and they're fun to listen to. And when you get stash ads and stuff, everybody likes a stash ad, because we're all like, oh, that's cool. I want one of those or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But your how-tos are great. And even when I do patina, I loved your two-parter. And your approach is a little different than mine. Some are very similar of what you were doing, but then you veer off into a different direction, and it explains why some of your results are different than mine.
Right.
So it's so much fun to watch.
I definitely got to tell people I got to get back to at least somewhat of a schedule, or so being that I'm not working right now, I got all the time. I was telling my best friend the other day, we talk every now and then, and I said, dude, I'm off all the time now, and when I was working, I was pissed that I had to stop what I'm doing here to go to work. And then by the time I get home, by the time I did stuff in the yard or whatever, I'm too tired to do any more model building. I said, well, if I'm ever not working, I got all the time in the world. Now I do, and I just sit here and veg. I start watching stupid crap on the TV, watch old movies, or I sit and veg, and I'm like, why am I doing nothing? So I got to get around to doing some more how-tos here on subjects and stuff like that, and more like like I did the other day. Well, what kits would you like to see reissued and all that?
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, and you know more about that than I did, because you've been building all along, where I have just recently, a year ago, started. So I don't know what's been out there in the last 5 years, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think on the AMT MPC stuff right now, and I really can't think of nothing because around two constantly reissuing the same kits over and over. As much as people complain about that, that's also good because they're always there. The kits,
Yeah.
they might be in a different box every time, but they're always there. Whereas Revell does that stupid thing of making one run of this or one run of that, and then they disappear.
Right.
Like what happened with the 67 Camaros. You know, those were always on the shelf for a while there, and I never got a chance to build one.
Like when I was talking about this one, well, this is Monogram, but it's kind
Yeah.
of similar thing. But this was one of those Ollie specials for $15.99. A lot of people
Right.
said it's a tough kit. It's going to be Fitman, whatever. I kind of gathered that because if you're going to get something $15 in a Ollie's, they probably are tough builds. But being a Patina build helps a lot because you can cover up things.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little more with like this kit. I want to build a lot better than I did when I was 10 or 11 years old. I already started like sanding the seams out of the boom and stuff like that. I plan on building it pretty much out of the box, but you know, spray painting it instead of brush painting it, maybe using flocking on the floor, you know, stuff like that. But for that, Lennis Schultz, he's having that Build It Again group build. That might be a kit I want to do. Like build it the way I should have built it, you know, when I didn't have the skills.
Yeah.
So I just like to do that and, you know, go out there and build that. And I'm not big on show cars, but that one's sort of an exception because it's sort of sentimental. You know, it's the first kit I built, so to do it again would be really cool. I wish I had the original one I built, you know, just see what it looked like. But I probably blew it up with firecrackers or, you know, shot it with a BB gun.
Right.
How I do vinyl tops.
Yeah, somebody was asking that, so go ahead.
Usually with the old masking tape technique, it's no real big secret. I may do a video on it. In fact, I think I did do a video on how to do a ratty one. If you go back to Joe's Rust Shop, my prior channel, I did it on the GTX Roadrunner kit for the USAC group build. I laid masking tape down. I made the side moldings. I think I covered that on the video. Then after I painted it flat black, I went with X-Acto blade and made rips and tears and folded it up like, you know, where a real vinyl top would, you know, tear. I've done nice ones too.
See, I don't like the tape vinyl top method, except for what you just explained is the perfect reason that I would want to, you know, because you can tatter it. Exactly.
No, if I'm going to do a nice one, I'll probably do the paint technique.
Yeah, that's what I do. I use a textured lacquer. It really works great.
That, or I'll lay some, you know, plastic strip down for the seams, and I'll just use regular flat black, but spray it like this far away, really dry and dusty.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you get a nice grain. So there's two ways to go. You could use textured paint, or you could, you know, do the really far away. A semi-gloss might be better than a true flat if you want it to look like a nice, you know, clean new vinyl top. So, you know, you could use either one, a semi, a satin. I always like how they call it semi-flat and semi-gloss. Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, right.
But, you know, you could use either one. You don't want to use gloss, you know, unless somebody put 2 gallons of Armor All on it. But
okay, Pops Models, Mike, I can't wait till next week. Mike, Pops Models. Mike is my guest with his son Mikey from Chester Models. How many are my subs for out of the country? You know, I'm gonna have to look that up, but I do know that I'm in 29 countries because I was looking at my data when I had my 5,000 subs in December. I was looking up some data, and I am out in 29 countries, and I does show the people from each country how many. So I know it's at least 29 people from out of the country, but I know there's more than that. As far as who's watching the show, I couldn't tell you. Right now, there's only 59 people in here. So this show is not, how would I say, it's not getting the viewership of my normal videos. I'm hoping that it will grow. You know, every show we have between 60, 80 people during the show, and it's a lot of fun. I'm having that. But then the reruns, you know, because you can see the reruns. If you go to my homepage and hit live, you'll see the reruns too. but I'm only getting maybe 500-600 people watching a rerun. So it'll probably catch on.
Right. I'm wondering though, do people in foreign countries, are they getting it subtitled or translated for them? Or
I know they do on the videos.
Yeah.
But like Johnny here, my friend Johnny, he's deaf, and on these live streams, it's not doing that. So he has to watch the rerun to see the closed captions.
Oh, okay.
I would have to buy a special software and tie it into this to be able to do that. So I'll have to look and see, just how I can do that. But it's another third-party software, because YouTube can't do it, and StreamYard can't do it.
Well, I can see it not happening live, because even the major networks have trouble with that.
Right.
You ever watch a live game or something, or anything live? It's always behind, or it's misspelled. Because I don't know if a human's typing it, or it's probably AI by now and voice recognition, but even that messes up. You feel like, what the hell are they saying? It's like, but
and of course, the people that are on the other side of the globe, it's about 6-7 hours ahead of us right now. So it's way early in the morning there. So
yeah, I'm just worried. I wonder if someone in Japan's watching right now. Kind of ModelBuildingInRetirement, and if they're getting it translated or not,
When they first came out with the translation stuff, YouTube gave me a sample of one of my videos, and I was able to click through different languages, and it was cool. I was speaking different languages.
Oh wow, that'd be great.
I've been trying to find out how to get that up again, and I can't figure it out.
that would be cool to see.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions, folks out there? Let's see. What's Lugo saying? I was going to say something that's not going to be popular, but I find that modeling YouTube community can be cliquey at times. Yeah, that's not popular. No, I'll tell you what, I think, I don't know what you mean by cliquey. Like, are you talking about like the group live streams? Because I'm finding that the YouTube community is great compared to like the Facebook community. Facebook will tear a guy apart. If he asks a question about painting or something, people will just rip him apart. It's like unfriendly, and why would you treat a guy like that? Or somebody posts their build, like, what do you think? And, oh my God, that's lumpy. What'd you do? Use Rust-Oleum? And then they're wrapping them, and it's like, come on, man.
I remember, I've agreed with you on that too. Facebook does seem a little more cliquey, like he said. And it reminds me, I don't know if you were ever into it, but back in the 80s, I was into the CB radio big time. And just like that, there were cliques. There was like this group of guys and girls that you could break channel and talk to them a little bit, but they'd kind of cut you short unless you got accepted to them. Sometimes it took a while. Sometimes they never accepted you. Sometimes they would. And it was very, very cliquey. It's like, oh God, like you're just, okay, they kind of dismiss you and not answer questions and stuff. And it was just really weird back then, because that was a popular thing. That was the AOL of the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
It was just how you group chatted. And you found a channel and you got in with your own people, and then you would be in your own little group. It was just awesome. The funniest thing is, me and my buddy used to talk every now. It was just us two, for the most part. Every now and then somebody would jump in, but we would talk dirty. We would make up dirty songs, all kinds of controversial songs that would probably get us, arrested today. And we would just have fun, and laughing and joking and laughing. And one time we hear a break, I think we used channel 11 at the time. And some guy goes, "Hey, I just want you guys to know." And I'm thinking, uh-oh, he's traced where we live, And he goes, "I just want you to know, I sit here and I listen to you guys every single night." And I'm like, oh God, what's he going to say next? He goes, "And I find you guys freaking hilarious." I'm rolling on the floor. He goes, "Whatever you guys are doing, keep doing it." He goes, "Me and my buddies just sit here and we're laughing." He goes, "You guys should have your own TV show. You're that funny." And it was just so hilarious. I'm like, well, we have fans, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And there, you don't know if someone's listening.
Yeah.
Here you can see that, how many people are on the channel. When you're listening to, on the radio, you got no idea whether it's a person listening or the government listening or who's out there.
Right. And Slugo, okay, so Slugo kind of clarified his question. Yeah, so there are some guys that are all about the shows and building for a trophy and whatever. Yeah, there are some.
Yeah.
And they're not the guys I watch either, because they're in a whole league far away from me. I mean, those guys, their builds are superior, so I suppose that they might be a little bit arrogant about it. I don't know, but
right.
But my channel, I try to keep it real. I mean, I'm a newbie. I think I caught on kind of quick, but I'm a newbie and I still make mistakes and I share my mistakes and I support everybody else's channel too. I mean, I got people that are a fan of mine, but half the people that are subscribed to my channel are channel people too, including Joe.
I got to give you props, Ken, too. I've been meaning to tell you this, like for somebody who just got back into it as recently as you did. You build exceptionally well. I love your paint jobs and your kits, and I love the fact that you got as many subscribers as you do already.
Thank you.
I'm really surprised by that. And by the way, I also have a Facebook group, Joe's New Rush Shop.
Yes, you do. I forgot to put a link in my description about that.
I got a Facebook group too. So anybody who wants to jump in there and join and post their work, I always like to see when other people post their work, whether it's patina or shiny, jump on in. It's there.
Yeah. I really appreciate everybody's comments on my builds and my channel. The channel, I don't know. It started with my 4-part series about painting, because painting is a very popular thing for anybody who's wanting to get into the hobby, because everybody wants that beautiful paint job, and it covers up for a lot of your other inadequacies. For example, my own. I could put a really nice paint job on there, but I'm still not the best detail artist on other parts of the build. But somehow that kind of went viral, but not really viral. I mean, we're in a small little community here, model building, but if I was in a Harley Davidson motorcycle forum, a guy who goes viral there has got 100,000 subs.
Wow.
and each video's got 30,000 views, where, I've got 6,000 subs and my videos, maybe on average about 3,000 views, which I'm proud of. I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
And the building, I think I just picked up a lot of life's, lessons, and it helped me. In fact, painting is something I did right out of high school. I worked in an industrial shop where we were painting with automotive guns, but we were painting office furniture. Well, it's the same thing, same technique. I was using the Binks spray guns and, spraying, and I had to spray fast because that stuff was moving by on a conveyor. So you had to be pretty quick at it. So I had that. And then, of course, I painted my own cars in the garage. So I think I just had a lot of things that made model building come to me a little quicker when I got into it. So, but I appreciate everybody's comments about that, including yours. Thanks, Joe.
Well, like we talked about on the way to that swap meet, I got a tickle in the throat. Painting for me is
thanks, Mike.
Paint is like the red light, yellow light, green light for me. Like when I lay a paint job on it that comes out the way I want, then I'm like, now I'll continue with the rest of the kit. If I lay a paint job on that's crap, it could discourage me from the rest of the build, or it means I got to at least stop, strip it, and start over again.
Yeah.
But I really shouldn't paint it first, because especially if you're doing a lot of mock-up. If you're building out of the box, then yeah, you could paint it first. You won't be handling it that much. But if you're planning on changing chassis and interiors and aftermarket parts and making an axle fit, you'll probably want to paint last. And even if the paint goes badly, you could always, throw that body aside, do another one, and put it on the good chassis. But yeah. I normally, for some weird reason, I paint first.
And me too. And these last couple builds, like the 60 Galaxy or the Starliner, there's so much mods there that I decided I had to wait to paint.
Right.
And it took away the fun, because I get motivated when I can have that paint job just sitting off to the side. It's like, I want to finish this because I want to see that in my diorama,
Right. Yeah, that's one of the, but also when it comes to paint, I've read over and over again, and I judged a contest a few years ago at the Chenango Valley They did it differently. That's when it was first, second, and third place. That's all you got. Unlike, you know, how you got an award, I got an award, everybody got one. Back then, the only rule was you weren't allowed to judge in a class or category you were in. So if you had a model in street rods, you were out.
Yeah.
But me and my buddy, the guys came around and go, "You guys want to judge?" I'm like, "Well, what's to it?" He goes, "Well, it just can't be a category you're in." I'm like, "Okay." So we went along, and you know, it was like a couple club members and me and my buddy Andy.
Well, if
And
you could see that shelf right behind me there where I'm pointing,
yeah,
you'll see that there's a little award behind each one of those.
right,
And that was at the Shenango Valley,
right.
show, the one where I met you. And when I first walked up to one of my kits after they did the judging and I saw first place, I'm like, whoa, my God, I got first place. But then I went and, you know, what is it, 7 of my cars or 8 of my cars are all first place. I'm like, wait a minute. And then I started looking around the rest of the table and it's all 50, 100 other first places. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, okay.
yeah. Same here. I went to a contest there a few years back, and they put those stickers on the paper first, the orange, green, and pink stickers, and that's the same as what award. Then the other guy goes around and, according to the sticker, puts the appropriate first or second or third place plaque. Well, the contest was winding down. I went around, I saw the stickers on my papers. I figured, oh, okay, well, that's like a runner-up thing or something. And I packed my models up and I left early, not knowing that they did that. So now I stick around for the whole show. Plus, they do give a best of award at the end of the show.
Yes,
So,
they do that. Yeah.
so you want to stick around for the whole show till they announce all those. But like I said, when we were judging, it was nice because, you know, when you look at a kit, you know certain kits and you know the work put into it by looking at it. So, like, if you look at the kit and you know this guy, whoa, he did this, this, and this to make this kit that much better, we'd give him points on that. Like, some guy there'd be 2 cars, both beautiful paint jobs, but the one guy didn't black wash his grill, where the other guy did. So the points go toward him. You know, it's really nice. 'Cause my buddy Daryl, that he's passed on years ago, he was a few years older than me, and he got me into building better models, and he got me to go to these contests and these swap meets. And he was really PO'd because Shenango Valley, when he first went to them, a majority of the builders in that club, they're great guys, but a majority at that time were military builders.
Yeah.
And they didn't know cars to save their life. I was at one contest and 2 of the guys were fighting, not physically, but arguing like the difference between a stock car, as in stock, like showroom stock, and a NASCAR stock car. Like, they didn't know categories. So it was like really bad having them judge. My buddy built a beautiful diorama of a garage. He took second place to a watercolor painting of a clown holding balloons in the miscellaneous class.
All right.
And like the guys back then, you know, it was all military. They know a tank, every detail about a tank. They knew everything about a ship, but they didn't know nothing about cars.
Right.
So it was nice that they got a lot of car guys in there now. And then, like I said, at that time, they let, you know, some of the attendants judge. So, you know, hey, you know a kit, I know kits. A lot of us other builders know kits. So you can look at it and go, well, this guy went over and beyond on this one. So that's how they judged. And it was really a good way. I wish they'd go back to that, really. It probably took more time, but I think I'd rather get a true first place or a true second. Or
and don't think I'm complaining about having those up there, because I appreciate the recognition.
Me too. Me too.
You know, I was just confused because they say first place. You know, with that, so it was sort of like, well, that ain't right. But I got to tell you, recognition means a lot, because I was at a show, and I think it might have been that very show. There was a guy who had a demolition derby build there, and I left my poker chip on it. And you just wouldn't believe the emails I got from this guy. He was so excited that I had done that, you know, because he said, "Man, I can't believe it, Ken. I watch your channel and you picked my model and put a poker chip." I mean, it made the guy's day.
Nice.
And it made me feel good too. But you know, it was a cool build. You know, I didn't just put it there for nothing. I thought it was cool, you know. But he said, I've been on 5 different shows and nobody's even taken a second glance at it.
I got to get some of those poker chips made and do the same thing, because you know, there's a lot of builds I see at the show that I'm like, well, I really like that. I'd like to be able to throw a chip down, or, because unless the guy's standing right there, and you go, hey, is this yours? You can't congratulate him or, say nice build unless he's right there. So, the poker
Slugo's
chip.
got a comment that if he went to a show, that he'd like to meet fellow builders and the vendors, and us too, I guess. That is, for me, that's a highlight.
Yes.
I enjoy meeting my because I have my own fan or stars. So the guys that I follow, when I see them at a show, I'm starstruck. Well, and then I started having some people come up to me, and that makes you feel really good. But just talking about model building and models, I mean, the atmosphere in a place like that is just so cool, because everybody's there for the same reason. We have the exact same interests. I mean, how could you not have a good time?
I had a couple, the man and woman, husband and wife, came up to me a couple years ago. Me and my buddies, Tim and I sometimes share a table. He gets a table to sell, and I'll give him, some bucks toward it. We're sitting there the one year, this guy and his husband and wife come up, he goes, hey, how you doing, Joe? You didn't bring Deuce? And he was one of my subscribers. I didn't even know who he was. And he goes, oh, I watch your channel all the time. I'm a subscriber. I'm from over in such and such. I can't remember his name now. I apologize if you're watching. But he knew the cat. He'd watched my video. He knew Deuce and Penny, and the cats jumping in the videos every now and then, which I'm really surprised they're not bothering me tonight. But well, this is great.
And I have to say, being an older guy, I forget things often, but I've kind of gotten most of the people that I've met at shows have become people that comment on my videos and stuff. So I've got to know your screen names and the banter, but I apologize. What I'm a little bit nervous about is next year when I get to the Detroit show and the Columbus show, you may come up to me and I may not recognize you right away. And I apologize. It's just, I'm not good with the face thing. So you may be somebody that I've been talking to all year long, and you introduced yourself to me at the last show, and please don't be offended if I don't recognize you. Just realize I'm an old man.
dude, it's been like that my whole life. Same here. I'm pretty good if I meet one person one-on-one, but even then, I could walk around the table and come back, was his name Tom or Tim? But if I meet a group of people, a bunch of, and you shake hands, by the time I get to the third guy, I forgot the first guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, same here. No offense, but my name and face recognition is horrible. And then here's another thing. I don't know if this has happened with you yet. I've got people that watch my channel that I didn't know watched my channel that are my friends. I talked to someone. He goes, oh, by the way, I like your channel. I'm like, wait, you watch it? And some of them aren't even model people. I'm like, how'd you know about it? I'm like, well, somebody told me that it's like that through another person. I just found out, one of my best friends watches your channel. I'm like, wow, I'm really surprised. And then I ran into another friend of mine at the hobby shop. He goes, oh yeah, I watch your channel all the time. I go, well, what's your screen name? He goes, well, I don't have a channel. I said, you don't need to have a channel. What name do you use? If you comment, I know it's you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, if they use their full name, I know who it is. But, a lot of people use screen names. And I'm like, you've been watching my channel all this time. You never said nothing. It's like, say something.
Yeah. Well, it's true, because not everybody comments in the videos, and even the subs. I mean, I get a monthly report, and on a monthly average, 50,000 views on my videos.
Wow.
It's like, it shocks me. Like, wow, where'd that come from? I didn't realize. Hey, anyways, Joe, we are at 2 hours.
Oh God,
can you believe that? That just flew right on by.
One more little thing, when it comes to comments, a lot of people, I want to make comments more often, but I'm often watching on my TV here, not my phone. So I can't just go right to the screen and make a comment until I watch it later. And then I go through and I'll make comments or reply to them. But when I'm watching them on the TV, I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
I'm in front of a big screen, but it's still hard talking to you, and it's hard. I mean, my eyes are wandering back and forth.
Yes.
But I'm trying to watch, but then when I do a playback, I'll see all kinds of comments or people that I didn't even know were in there. I just miss them because, you're
Right.
You're having to multitask and you're not seeing everybody. So I apologize sometimes if I don't acknowledge you or
same
answer
here.
you. So,
but hey,
anyways,
thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure, Joe. We're going to get together for lunch here, and hopefully Mark too, and we'll talk about a collaboration.
Right.
We got to do something there. So
yes.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to say
for having
goodbye
me,
to
man.
my audience. You're welcome, buddy.
Good way to spend an evening.
It was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Bye, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. See you, Joe. Okay. Joe's a good guy. Joe's a good guy. He's not at a loss for words, that's for sure. And he's not, if you see him in person, he's not either. Guys, anyways, I had a lot of fun doing this show. This is a record. We went 2 hours. I just don't want to go too long. I just, want to keep it to where people want to come back next week and not say, oh, those shows are too long or whatever. So anyways, next week is Mikey from Chester's Models and his pops. Mike will be with us too. It's going to be a great show. And then the week after is Matt from Matt's Model Works. So stay tuned, folks. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next week. And hopefully this weekend, I'll have another video out on that Ford, be the completion of that. So thank you so much for watching and see you next time.